He's not just here to judge, he will talk to the kids. Tim's pig's name is Fuega, and his favorite hobbies are skiing and hunting. Genevieve's hog is named Wolf, and her favorite hobbies are reading and being out.
Let's give all these exhibitors here in this first class of feeder hogs a big round of applause. Certainly a privilege and an honor to come out here and judge your guys' pig show. I'm going to use this young lady's broken belted, wild marked, floppy eared bear to win the class. I think he's probably the most correct in terms of carcass when you talk about feeder pigs, taking them home, getting them back on feed, and what they're going to do 20 or 30 days down the road, and I think he brings the most good. He's the biggest, top, biggest, rumped, stoutest featured barrow in the class. If I could change him in any one way, I need to put some more natural freshness to his rib shape. He wants to be just a notch stale and hard in that lower rib shape, but certainly the most powerfully constructed, biggest footed hog in this drive. Let's give her a round of applause. She'll be your class winner. Second place, I'm going to go ahead and use the young gentleman's Hamp gilt to be second. Another one of those really correctly made gilts. She's really level and strong in her top. I like how much boldness she's got working from behind her blades. You get behind her, she walks with some natural width and dimension. If I could change her in any way, she wants to be just a notch narrower up through her chest floor and a notch flatter in that rib shape. And I just need to extend her through her side just a little bit. She wants to be a notch shorter in terms of her side profile, but a really tremendous quality gilt that's going to do something with some more days on feed. In third place is going to be the young lady's blue butt gilt here. Another one of those nice pattern gilts. She's a long-sided, she's a tall-fronted gilt that really gets across the ground really well. If I could change her just a little bit, I need to widen her up off both ends. She wants to narrow in her skeleton. She wants to be a notch flatter in her rib shape in comparison to the top two. And if I can just widen her up, that'll make her move up in terms of this class. Coming out in fourth, fifth, and sixth, we got three different hogs that I think all kind of suffer the same thing when you get them out here in comparison to these three. I just need to bolden and widen them up. They're frailer in their bone structure. They're tighter in their rib shape. I need to widen them up a little bit and put some more natural thickness through them to compete with the top three. But let's give all six another big round of applause.
First place in the feeder class is Genevieve. Second place, Tucker. Third place, Claire. Let's give them a round of applause. Next in the ring, we'll have the lightweight market swine, Karina, Hannah, Tommy, Bella, Breck, and Tucker. Lightweight market swine. It sometimes takes a little bit. We have to switch back number tags because the kids can have multiple animals, so sometimes it takes a little bit in between. And it doesn't help with the lovely pig noises. The pigs in this lightweight class range from 220 to 229 pounds. I don't know who's bigger there, the pig or the boy, but anyway, a little help. There we go. That pig weighs more than Tucker does. So, Karina's pig's name is Waddles, and her favorite hobbies are hanging with pigs and turkeys and biking through the forest. Hannah's pig's name is Faith, and her favorite hobbies are basketball and 4-H. Tommy's pig is named Geico, and his favorite hobbies are sports and hanging out with friends. Bella's pig's name is Esther. Her favorite hobbies are hunting and basketball and running barrels.
Let's change Breck's pig's name. Wait, that's the other one. He has one that's later.
Breck's pig's name is Baconator, and his favorite hobbies are snowmobiling and basketball. And Tucker's pig's name is Spruce, and his favorite hobbies are still video games and biking. A quick reminder as well that we have the adult showmanship on Sunday. If you are the parent of a 4-H youngster, please sign up for the adult showmanship. People such as Ashley and Nate Stratton should really sign up for the adult showmanship. Yeah, I just love calling you guys out by name. Put the microphone in my hand and you never know what will happen. I see Miss Cindy Galabota over there. Adult showmanship on Sunday, please. Stacy Barker is here somewhere taking pictures.
Let's give these 6 exhibitors a big round of applause. First place is going to be young gentleman's Burke Barrow over here against the rail. I think he's probably the most productive, the biggest top, biggest hit barrow. He brings the most product from nose to tail of any hog in the drive. He's the biggest bodied barrow. If I could change him in any way, I need to extend him up to that front end. He wants to be just a notch shorter for me. That would make him certainly a much more attractive barrow when you get him out on a profile. But in terms of sheer muscle, he's in here to win, and he's got the biggest top, biggest hip of any. Let's give him a round of applause. When you look at second and third, the advantages to them come when you get them on a profile. Both of them are the more attractive hogs when you get them on a side. They're cleaner and more extended through their front end. The young lady's wide belted gilt here is going to be second. I just think she brings more good to the table than the young lady's gilt that I have in third. She's a big, crisp top gilt. She's got a big hip. She's really long-sided. If I could change her, I need to soften her up in her rib shape. She's a notch tight and flatter through the center portions of her rib in comparison to our class winner, but really an outstanding gilt to follow in second. You come out here in third place, I think she's just more complete as the drive goes. She doesn't excel in any one category. She's just a very complete made gilt. If I could change her a little bit, I need to soften her up, make her a little bit more rugged in her skeleton. She's a little bit frailer and finer boned than the ones in first and second, but really just a high quality gilt from nose to tail without very many large holes. Let's give her a big round of applause. Coming out when you talk fourth, fifth, and sixth, I talked to each one of them, told them what I liked and what I'd like to change about each one. They all come out here with just a little bit of a different hole in them. In fourth and fifth, if I could change their skeleton, the way they move, the way they get across the ground, put some more slope to their shoulders, put some more flex when I get behind them, I think they would move up in this drive. That's where they fall a little bit in terms of a disadvantage, is just the way they're built skeletally. Young gentleman's barrel that rounds out the class, the blue butt barrel, certainly a very long, level made, very easy feeding barrel. He's very, very productive in the way that he's made in terms of that feedability. He's just not wide enough for me. He doesn't have enough natural width from end to end to carry the amount of cover that he's got. If I could widen his skeleton and put some more base width in him, he'd move up in the drive. Let's give all six another big round of applause.
First place, lightweight market swine, Hannah. Second place, Bella. Third place, Tucker. Fourth place, Corina. Fifth place, Breck. And sixth place, Tommy. Give them all another round of applause. These are some nice pigs. The next pigs in the ring will be the light medium weight. We have Corina, William, and Madison. So again, we need a back number change, so it might be just a moment till they come in the ring. The pigs in this class weigh between 233 and 239 pounds. Karina's pig is named Ivory. I wonder which one that is. And she likes hanging out with her pig and turkeys and biking through the forest. William's pig's name is Wilbur, and his favorite hobbies are wrestling, 4-H, football, and horseback riding.
That's good. We didn't know. I have to go spread the news.
So he'll be back in the ring, yeah.
And Madison's pig's name is Joy, and her favorite hobbies are hunting and hiking.
Let's give these three exhibitors a big round of applause. Come out here and evaluate this drive. I think it sorts pretty handed for me. I'm going to use the young lady's narrow belted hamp gilt here to win the drive. I think she's the most complete gilt and drive when you evaluate her from end to end and from the ground up. She's got a big top, big hip. She's very sound and correct as she moves when you get her out on the move. She's a long-sided, long-fronted gilt. If I could change her in any one way, I want to soften her up just a touch in the way she comes through her rib shape. She wants to be just a notch flatter right through the center of that rib cage, but really a high quality gilt that's got a lot of good from nose to tail. Let's give her another big round of applause for bringing a pretty good one out here to be winning. We come out here, I'm going to use the young gentleman's white barrow here to be your second place. He's a big top, big hipped, productive made, big bodied, big centered, big footed barrow. If I could change him, I need to change the way he's put together from a design standpoint. He's a coarser shouldered, kind of more open fronted barrow that's not quite as correct in the way he moves out that front third of his skeleton, and then he's just a notch shorter in that hip structure. If I could lengthen him out and level him out in the way he's designed through his hip, I think he'd be a little bit more competitive to our class winner, but a really high quality, big top, big productive bear to be second. Young lady's gilt here in third. I really like how level she is in her top line. She's got a lot of natural shape and dimension of muscle when you evaluate her in her top. But where I need to change this gilt is the way she's designed through her rib shape, and when I get to the lower third of her skeleton. She wants to be the narrowest chested, narrowest tracking hog in the drive. I need to just widen her skeleton up in general to move up in terms of competing with first or second. But let's give all three another big round of applause for bringing some outstanding hogs out here.
First place, light medium weight swine is Madison. Second place, William. And third place, Corina. Let's give them another round of applause. I have a correction. I misspoke on the last class. Tucker was first, Bella was second, and Hannah was third, and I had those backwards. So last class in the lightweight pig, it was Tucker first, Bella second, and Hannah third. Just wanted to make sure that was corrected. Next in the ring, we'll have the medium weight market swine. These pigs are between 246 and 249. We have Vita, Breck, and Genevieve coming in the ring with their pigs. Oh. So I have another correction. It's Veda, sorry. And her pig's name is Fair Lady Z. And her favorite hobbies are dancing and skiing. Oh, I'm a little disappointed, Breck. This pig's name is Jerry. I was expecting something like smoked ham or something like that. And his favorite hobbies are snowmobiling and basketball. Genevieve's swine is called Oreo. And her favorite hobbies are horseback riding and riding.
Let's give these three exhibitors a big round of applause. For me, this is kind of a very interesting class to evaluate in that we have some very different types and kinds of hogs out here. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady's Hamp Bear to win the class. I think he's the most complete and puts the package together the best in terms of the way he's made. He's not the biggest topped, he's not the biggest hipped, and he's not the best designed. But he's a good designed hog with a big top, big hip. He's got some center rib shape and some base width. If I could change him just a little bit, I need to elevate him up through that front end. I need to correct him in terms of the way he's built out of his hip. He wants to be just a notch short in that hip. But he puts together the most complete package nose to tail when you look at him from the ground up. Let's give her a round of applause for being your class winner. We come out here and judge second and third. It gets a little bit more difficult for me because here's where the types and kind vary drastically. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady's red gilt to be second. I think she's more correct in the way she's designed. She's more correct from the ground up in the way she's built in her skeleton. She's got more flex and give off both ends. She's an expressively muscled gilt when you evaluate her in her top shape. Where I need to change this gilt, I need to put more base width in her. I need to put more structure and bone in her. She's a notch frail for me, and she's a flatter sided gilt when you get her on the move. If I could bolden her up and put some more width in her, she'd probably be in here to win because she's really nice in terms of her design. Young gentleman's gilt that I have in third is the white gilt. Here's a gilt that you really have to appreciate for how big top she is. She's the biggest top gilt in the drive. She's probably got the most bone of any hog in drive. She's the biggest footed. But that's where I start to run into some problems with her. She's the straightest shouldered. She's the tightest and most restrictive when you get her in her hip and start watching her move. I need to change her skeletally the way she's built from the ground up to be able to compete in this class. But certainly a big top gilt that the young man needs to be proud of. Let's give all three of these exhibitors another big round of applause.
First place, medium weight market swine, Genevieve. Second place, Veda. Third place, Breck. Let's give them another round of applause. Next in the ring, we have the medium heavyweight market swine, Carson and Kaysen. These pigs are between 256 and 260 pounds. Kaysen's pig is Jojo. His favorite hobbies are hunting and roping. Carson's pig is named Greg. And her favorite hobbies are basketball and hanging out with friends. Obviously, her and Breck went in for the just like regular old names.
Let's give both these exhibitors a big round of applause for bringing out some pretty good pigs out here in this drive. I can tell you this much, when we get to this weight, there's not a light muscled hog out here between the two. They both have a lot of product. I was telling the young man that I'm going to use first is going to be the blue butt barrel. I really try to appreciate and evaluate hogs from the ground up. First, they got to be built right in their skeleton. Once they're correct in their skeleton, I'm going to go ahead and start looking at what they bring to the table in terms of muscle. Like I just said, both of them bring plenty of muscle to the table. Then I get past that part and I start looking the way they're built and the way they're designed when I get them out on the move. Young gentleman, this blue butt barrel is a pretty good barrel. He's built right, he's correct. I like how elevated he is up through his front end. He's a soft top, loose spined, athletic moving barrel. Really gets across the ground with a big old foot. Really give him some compliments. If I could change him in any one way, it's just an overall extension. He's just a notch shorter in the way he's built. If I can extend him up just a little bit through his side, certainly a very, very small hole for a very high quality barrel to win the class. Let's give him another round of applause. That's not taking anything away from the young lady who's going to come in second. This broken belted barrel, he's a good barrel. He's big topped, he's big sided, he's big hipped, he's big footed. Where he starts to fall apart for me in comparison to the young gentleman's barrel that I'm going to use to win, I start evaluating him through the lower third of his rib shape. He wants to be just a notch tighter, a notch flatter. You get into his chest floor, he wants to walk just a notch narrower in his skeleton in comparison to the young gentleman's blue butt barrel to win. High quality hog to fall second. Just come in here with a really good one to win. Let's give her a round of applause for bringing a high quality barrel out here for second.
First place, medium heavyweight market swine, is Kaysen. Second place is Carson. Let's give him another round of applause. And you have to admit, the pig with his tongue hanging out the whole show is just kind of cute, you know. They have such personality. Next in the ring, we'll have the heavyweight market swine, and we'll have Veda and Timothy. These pigs are between 276 and 280 pounds. Veda's pig is called Chicharrones, and her favorite hobbies are dancing and skiing. Tim's pig is called, I'm going to say Thickamore? Yep, Thickamore. His favorite hobbies are skiing and hunting.
Let's give these two exhibitors here in this class a big round of applause. I'm going to go ahead and use the young ladies' bear to win the class, the floppy-eared bear. I think he's probably the most complete in the way he's built from the ground up. He's the most correct in his skeleton. Both of these hogs are big top, big hip. They both have plenty of rib shape. They're both built right in those regards. So when it comes down to separating the two, I think this floppy-eared bear just gets across the ground with a softer, more athletic stride. I like the way he sets down with more authority out at that front end in comparison to the young gentleman's bear here in second. He's really a big top, big-bodied bear, this black-headed bear that I'm going to put in second. I need to change him the way he steps, the way he moves across the ground. He's straighter up through that front end, more restrictive when you get behind him. He doesn't track out on the ground as well as the young lady's bear that I used to win. But let's give them both a round of applause for bringing big top, big hip, heavy muscled hogs out here.
First place heavyweight market swine is Veda. Second place is Timothy. Let's give him another round of applause, please. Now we'll give people just a moment to get sorted. But in the ring for the championship drive, we need Tucker, Madison, Genevieve, Kaysen, and Veda for the Grand Champion Market Drive.
Is Matt gonna go take her around?
What if she plays?
So for the championship drive, we have the first place animal in each of the market classes except for the feeders, since the feeders do not sell. So in the lightweight class, we have Tucker. In the light medium weight, we have Madison. In the medium weight, we have Genevieve. In the medium heavyweight, we have Kaysen. And in the heavyweight, we have Veda. So the judge will choose the grand champion from this group of animals. Whichever class has the grand champion will bring the second place animal from that group out into the ring, and the judge will then choose the reserve grand champion. JR and Connie, I've been informed that I can't harass the grandparents to show at the adult showmanship on Sunday, so you are free and clear.
Let's give all the exhibitors in the swine barn, not just the ones out here, a big round of applause. I can tell you it takes a lot of time, effort, a lot of work on these young people's parts to be able to get to this point. My job is to come out here, select a grand and reserve. I'm only going to make 2 kids' years this year when I do so, but let's go ahead and make sure that everybody else hears how proud you guys are of the hard work that they've done to get to this point, whether they're in the ring or they're in the back. Let's give them another big round of applause. For the exhibitors that are in the barn, I want you to take a moment to think about the people that have helped you get here. I want you to take a mental note of those folks, and I want to make sure that you tell them thank you at some point before you leave this fairgrounds tonight, and make sure they know how appreciative you are of the time and effort they've put into helping you get to this point, okay? We come out here in this ring. Those of you that were here for the goat show, you'll hear me say it again. When I come out here, I really evaluate livestock from the ground up. They got to be correct in the way they're made first. They got to have the right amount of muscle, the right shape. They got to have what it's taking. We're feeding these for market animals, so they got to have that part. Once we get past that part, then we're going to start finding a type and kind. We're going to find the design, the things that set themselves out to make the hog a little bit unique here in the show ring. I think when you look across this drive, whether you talk about the lightweight to the heavyweight class, you've got a lot of hogs that are built correct skeletally. They get across the ground well. They all have big tops, big shape. They have a lot of muscle. They all have some rib shape. So it's not really coming down to who's got more muscle than the other one, because they all have plenty. What it comes down to me are little things, and I think there's a hog out here that really just separates himself and really comes out into this drive as your grand champion. I'll go out and select him as your champion. I've already talked them all in their class. I'm not going to talk your ear off again. I'll select your grand champion. We'll bring the second place out, and I'll select your reserve. Let's give them all one more big round of applause as I go out and do that.
Grand champion market swine is Kaysen. Let's give him a big round of applause. Carson, if you could get your pig ready to come in the ring, please. You can tell sometimes by the end of the day, the pigs really like to hang out by the gate because they're done. They're like, I'm ready to go back and lay down. So they like to congregate there. And then you have ones that just like to run amok.
You bring the second place out of that class. I think he fits right in here with the rest of your class winners. Let's give all these guys one more big round of applause. I can tell you when it comes down to selecting the reserve, it gets a little bit tighter for me. I think there's a lot of really good hogs that are very similar in the way they're made, but I'm going to go out here and make another individual's year.
Reserve champion, market swine, is Carson. Let's give everyone a big round of applause. These are all fine animals. Mark their numbers down for your auction cards for Saturday night, because these would all make some very nice bacon. After we get things settled a little bit, we'll be doing the showmanship for market swine. This is these junior showmen coming in the ring are our youngest 4-H members. And this is why we love having Trent here as our judge. You'll see he's taking the time to talk to each of the exhibitors on things that they can improve on for showmanship and things that they should do to make themselves better so that they can continue on. I would just like to say, I don't have a prize, I don't have an award, but Miss Veda, you have the most pretty smile on your face during this whole show. I just wanted to call that out.
Let's give all these juniors a big round of applause. They've been out here working awful hard. I have to say that I showed sheep, pigs, and cattle. I showed all over the country and was very competitive when I did it. I enjoyed going out into a market show, and I enjoyed it when I had success in that market ring. But what I really prided myself on, where I found the most joy, was coming into a showmanship ring and being able to show an animal to the best of my ability and present the animal to the best of its ability and be competitive in the show ring. Showmanship means something to me. It shows a lot of time, effort, work. Let's give all these juniors another big round of applause. I think they did a tremendous job. When we come out here, there's only one thing that really separates these top three that let me sort who I was going to use to win. It's going to be the young lady right here in front of me. She's going to be your champion junior showman. Intermediates and seniors, if you're sitting in the back, I would listen very closely. As a judge, I want to see 3 views of that hog. I want to see a profile. I want to see that hog walk away from me. And probably the most important and the most forgotten view, I want to see a young individual drive that hog right at me so I can evaluate that chest floor of that hog. She's the only one in this drive that drove that hog at me. Let's give her a big round of applause. She deserves to be your champion junior showman. The other two both missed that front view. They both missed driving that hog right at me. And if they did, it would have made it a lot tighter for me to pick my champion. But my reserve champion junior showman is going to be the young lady showing the broken belt at Hamp Gilt. I think she's just a notch more calm when she's on the move. She's got that hog moving at a little bit more accurate pace for his step, and it makes that gilt look better when she's out on the drive. And I think that's commendable to her, not to over rush, not to over pursue. That hog wants to stop on her a lot. If she can keep that hog moving, keep that hog walking for her, keep it driving, she'll do a lot better job. But she's certainly an outstanding showman. If she would have got me a front view, she'd be in contention to be your winner. But a really outstanding job to be second. In third place is going to be the young lady showing the Duroc Gilt. Probably one of the easier hogs when you get out here on a profile to keep that hog moving and make it look good, because that hog's really tall and extended fronted. She does a really good job when she's moving that hog, make that hog keep its head up as it moves. That's commendable. She did not get me a front view either. She walked along the perimeter and she walked away from me once, but she never really turned that Duroc Gilt and drove that Duroc right at me, and that's one of the views that I really need to see. If I could change her one other way just a little bit, is to really try to work on not letting that hog walk the perimeter. Try to walk across the center of the ring. Get it to move out here away from the fence line. That'll help her move up into them top three. Let's give our other two juniors another big round of applause. I talked to all 5. They did a great job. Be commendable. Hold your heads up and be happy. Fantastic work.
First place, swine showmanship in the junior class is Hannah. Second place, Corina. Third place, Veda. Let's give them all another round of applause. Next in the ring will be our intermediate showman. The ages of these showmen are 11 to 13. In the ring, we'll need Bella, Genevieve, Tucker, and Madison. Intermediate swine showman. Just a reminder to all the pig showmen, after the senior showman class, we'll need all pig showmen into the ring along with Kason's grand champion swine. So don't be going anywhere. Tomorrow morning, we have the sheep show at 9 o'clock, the turkey show at 2 o'clock, and the steer show at 6 o'clock. So remember to come back and support our young 4-Hers so that they can hear lots of nice applause for their hard work. And there's Mr. Galabota, who really needs to sign up for the adult showmanship on Sunday. I've been looking for you all evening.
Let's give all these intermediates a big round of applause. When we come out here, I'm going to go ahead and use this young lady right here out in front to be your champion intermediate showman. She did the most outstanding job of getting that gilt moving, driving, moving across the ring. She's the only one that used the middle of this show ring to show that hog off to me, and I need to commend her for that. She didn't just follow it in a circle around the ring. She made sure she got out here and used every square inch of this ring to get that gilt presented to me. Outstanding job. Continue the great work. Continue working with those hogs the way you have. It's obvious she responds to what you want her to do. It gets really close for me in second and third because I think they both do about the same thing. They both miss the same thing at the same rate. But I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady showing the other black gilt to be your reserve intermediate showman. I think she's just a little bit more correct at getting that gilt out and getting her moving, getting her driving when she gets her driving. The one thing that I want her to really focus on is making sure that she tries to use the show ring to her advantage. Get that hog out here in the middle. Don't just let it go around the perimeter and follow a fence. Get it out in the middle. Keep it out in the middle and drive it across that middle like she's doing right now. If she's more attentive at making sure that gilt moves that way in a ring, she'd move up and be more competitive with our class winner today. But an outstanding showman does a really good job when she gets that gilt driving, does a really good job. Young lady in third also does a good job. When she gets this barrel moving, she does a really good job. I love how calm she is when she moves with that hog. She doesn't get overly excited. She doesn't get a lot of fast movement in the way she moves, and I really appreciate that about her. The one thing I really want her to work on is, just like I said in second, really take advantage of the whole ring to show me that barrel. Don't just let him walk around the perimeters. Really be more aggressive. And I talked to him, and seniors, I hope you're listening to this one as well. You come out into this show ring and you got a pig that ain't wanting to listen to you. You got more tools to your disposal than just that stick that you brought out here with you. You got a free hand. You got your knees, your legs. Be a little bit more aggressive. Get that pig away from the corner. Get it off of that fence. Be just a touch more aggressive at getting that pig to go where you want it to go, and you'll do an outstanding job of getting that pig shown in a show ring when you got other pigs out here. But really, she does an outstanding job. I love that calm demeanor that she comes out here when she's got that barrel moving. If she would be just a touch more aggressive when that barrel wasn't working for her to get him driving again, she'd move up. Let's give all four of them a big round of applause. They did an outstanding job.
First place intermediate showman is Bella, and second place is Madison. Third place Genevieve, and fourth place Tucker. Let's give them another round of applause. It's a lot of hard work getting these pigs to do what you want them to do. Next in the ring, we'll have the senior showman, Tommy, Timothy, Carson, Kaysen, and Breck. These showmen are between 14 and 18. These are our senior showmen. The seniors do have a little bit of advantage if they've been listening to the judge for the previous two shows. They should be able to pick up some pointers on things that he said. So hopefully they will put them to use. all of you parents, Cabe and Jessica, that are participating in the adult showmanship on Sunday, you may want to attend the showmanship clinic on Saturday morning just to pick up those extra pointers. Yes, I think you should do it. Before we get to the end of this senior showman, let's give our boardmen and young lady another round of applause for a good job done this evening.
Let's give all these seniors a big round of applause. They worked their butts off and did a great job out here. You know, I only really get to place the top three. I think you got 5 outstanding showmen out here. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady showing the Hamp Bear to be your champion senior showman. I got to commend the young lady. I talked to everybody during the market show if I seen something that they were doing in terms of showmanship that I think would improve their ability to show a hog. One of the things that I talked to her about, she did a much better job when she come out here the second time when she brought that hog out for the grand drive, as well as when she came out here for senior showmanship, at really paying attention to those cues that I gave her, and she listened and followed them to a T. But what separates her really from the other two is her ability to use the entire show ring. She's made that barrel work for her. She's made that barrel show for her, where I could see that barrel around the ring and I didn't have to go find him. She's really an outstanding showman, working really hard and doing a great job. Let's give her another big round of applause. Come here in second, I have to commend the young man. He was another one that when we first came out in the very first class, he wanted to move and run and chase his hog, and I talked to him, told him, don't. Just stop, slow down a little bit. Hog feeds off your energy. Here in senior showmanship, he's done a fantastic job at his pace, his speed, not chasing that hog. And I have to commend him too. When he first came out here, pig wanted to go right to the corner. He kept his composure, kept his cool, got the pig out of the corner, and he's been working that barrel just like he should ever since, keeping it out here, letting me see it. The one thing that I really encouraged him to make sure that he paid attention and focused on was making sure I got that front view of that barrel driving right at me. He did a really good job of giving me profiles. He did a really good job of giving me views of that barrel walking away from me. He just needs to be more intentional at making sure he turns that barrel and drives that barrel right at me as a judge. Young man here in third, I think is only third mostly because the hog is just not cooperating for him. He's a really good showman. He does a good job of getting that barrel to move when he gets him moving, but that barrel wants to fight him in a corner. He stayed over in that corner just a little bit too long for me to allow him to move up in the top two. He did a really good job, I'll talk about in terms of presentation of the barrel, in terms of his fit job, in terms of making sure that that hair is correct. He probably did the most outstanding job of making that hog ready for the show ring of any exhibitor in the barn. So let's give him a round of applause. He's third today, but he's certainly as good as the other two. We come here in fourth, or in the other two, not placed either way, but in any one shape or form, if you come out in the ring and just do a few little things a little differently, keep them moving, use the ring, you'll be right here with these three. Let's give all 5 another round of applause. Outstanding set of senior showmen.
Champion senior showman is Carson. Second is Tim. Third is Kaysen. Let's give them another round of applause. And if we could have an applause for our judge, Trent, the CSU 4-H specialist, and our ring steward, Laura. The pigs kind of kicked her out. They were being a little obnoxious. Don't forget, we have lamb show at 9, turkey show at 2, steer show at 6 tomorrow evening. So